Hi, I'm Lauren.
And I'm Matt.
And this is Publish and Prosper,
where publishing, e-commerce, and marketing collide. Welcome back, everyone. Episode 91 of Publish and Prosper. For those of you who are not watching us on YouTube, you're only listening to us. We are live at this recording at CEX. We are in a makeshift studio, which was so graciously put together by our very talented video person, who will remain unnamed.
Not me. He's not talking about me.
I'm just kidding. It was Ashley. And we are joined by one of our most favorite authors and longtime Lulu allies and partners, Lynette Greenfield, who flew all the way over here from Australia and is fighting some jet lag. So we're going to give her some grace here. But nonetheless, I think we're going to have some fun here. We're going to ask some really great questions of Lynette and her journey so far as an author with quite a few titles, as well as the founder of Limelight Publishing, which is a successful hybrid publishing company based in Australia, right?
Yep, that's it.
So thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Fighting the jet lag.
Very tired.
Dealing with our makeshift studio.
To 2:30 a.m. for me now.
And now you have to stare at me and Lauren.
It's good to see you again. It is.
It's been a while.
We have a long history with Lynette. You used to join us sometimes at BEA in New York.
Yes.
Which was a lot of fun. And
well, that first time I was with another company.
That's right.
And just happened to be seated opposite you. And I actually had made a phone call to find out where you guys were because I wasn't familiar with it all. And somebody had told me the booth name, but I couldn't find you. So the next day I went in and then suddenly you were just opposite where we were sitting and I don't know how that happened. So I was like, hey.
We were probably late to set up. We're not the most timely people on the planet.
Oh, well then, you took one of the books and then we got talking and everything and then I came with you guys the following year.
Yeah.
Truly a real-world application of all the times that we say how great events are.
Exactly.
And what a valuable experience it is to go and do an event.
Yeah.
Because like I said in one of the interviews when I was there, people always say to me, or used to always say to me, what do you want? And all I wanted was to just be with you guys and do a signing. And I don't know why. I felt like doing a signing with you guys because I loved the platform so much and I got so much out of it was more fulfilling than getting a book deal, which I eventually did get. But for me, it just felt like that next step with where I wanted to go. And I couldn't believe that it actually happened. My husband was the one that sort of spoke it into existence. So now every time he says something like, oh, that plant looks like it's dying, I'm like, don't speak it out loud. These things come true. So
He's a great manifester.
Yeah.
We had fun in 2018. That signing, we had Omar Epps at our table.
That was
we had
awesome.
Lynette. We had quite a few people. It was fun.
It was really great.
I wasn't there for that.
Lauren wasn't with us yet.
Well, some of the authors that came the following year. Whichever were the two consecutive that I went, and paid to come see me. I couldn't believe it. So it was the first time that I felt like I was actually seeing proper followers in person rather than just online. And it's so different to have them come up to you and talk to you in person and get their book signed. It's just completely different. Everything's just online now. Everything, but you just can't beat that in-person experience.
That was probably a heavy level of validation for you too, though.
It was.
To have somebody show up, want to get their book signed by you and say they flew or traveled for one of the most specific reasons to see you.
Yeah. The only other time I felt that was in a supermarket one time and this man was pointing to me saying, it's her, it's her, it's her. And his wife was saying, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? I said, me? And he said, yes, you're Lynette Greenfield. And I said, oh, okay. And he was paying and he was just jumping up for joy and everything. And I just sort of wandered off and I didn't say, do you want an autograph or anything like that? Because I'm not that type of person to be like, oh yeah, it's me, do you want my autograph? But I just sort of waved and said, hi, it's me, and just went off. But it was incredible.
I would have ran the other direction. I'd be like, are you a federal agent? Because I'm not. I'm not him.
To be proud of, though.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It just doesn't happen except in movies and stuff.
So real quick, before we get into any other questions or stuff, let's remind everybody, how many books have you written at this point? And you had one released recently as well, but what's your total right now for you?
24.
24 books. I don't even have a kid that age yet. Close, 20. 24 books.
And I don't think you've been writing for 24 years, so you've done some in more than one in a year, right?
So I did 4 poetry titles when I was younger, and it was about 16 years ago. I remember because my son is 16, so about 16 years ago is when my husband said, "You got to write a novel." I'm like, I've tried, I can't do it. Then I went away and read a very popular, famous book that was made into a movie. And it was written so badly, I couldn't believe it. I just could not believe it. Like, I couldn't even get through, like, 3 chapters. And I'm like, why am I doubting myself? Like, if they can do it, I can definitely do it. So that gave me a little bit of confidence. And all night long, I wrote the first chapter, and it was a romance novel, so I was really, really nervous for my husband to read it. And he was like, it's brilliant, I love it, keep going. So that's how it actually started. But yeah, it came really late. And from there, I've just never gone back to poetry, and it's just addictive. So, yeah, I love it.
So
clearly, 24 books.
That's a lot. Yeah.
There's 4 children's books, one for each of my kids, and then there's the non-fiction as well. I didn't include the journal that comes with it, that's not included in that, and the Write, Publish, Repeat. Even though I don't love doing non-fiction, is the most successful one that I've ever had.
What do you not like about doing nonfiction?
It was really draining. It was exciting at first to know that, like, the motivation was sharing the knowledge, getting it all out there. It was a real passion. It was sort of side by side with Limelight. Limelight, I could do it in person and actually, like, live it. But I don't know. It just wasn't creative. There was no creativity to it for me.
It's a different kind of writing, different kind of thinking.
Like you got to get all your facts right.
Yeah.
You got to think about your audience a little bit more. There's, for example, you're talking about you're putting, I don't know, what do you call them, like bullet points?
Citations?
Instead of just the flow of creativity.
So was your approach different for writing the nonfiction book versus when you're writing fiction?
Yes. So all of my fiction books, you probably already know this, that I write the ending first. No matter what it's about, the ending always comes first because it starts with an idea about something. So at the moment I'm writing a novel about, I suffer migraines really badly, like debilitating. I actually threw up on the way here because I was about to get one. I was in the hospital last weekend. It's like chronic pain. It's awful. But the book that I'm writing is fiction, and the character, you don't find out till the end that the character is a migraine. So the character is actually an abusive partner, but you don't find out that it's actually a migraine until the end. So it feels like a person. So I know the ending already, and then you just sort of build up to it. But Write, Publish, Repeat was all just structural, and I had a little bit of a think about how I write and the process of writing, and so it had to go in a certain way. And when you're doing fiction novels, you let the feeling just take you a certain way, and you don't know where it's going to go. Whereas it's the complete opposite.
So you don't outline when you're writing fiction?
Definitely not. I feel like that limits me. Then I've got to stick to it. So I'm very goal-oriented person, and if I set a goal for myself, I always tell my family that it's like having a boss in my head. If I say to myself I'm going to do something, I feel like I really have to do it, otherwise I feel really disappointed in myself. So yeah, it's sticking to the facts, but then fiction is just see where I'll go.
So without an outline, do you set like writing goals? Do you say like when you're working on a new project for yourself, not an author that you work with, but do you set like writing goals like daily, weekly, or monthly, or do you just whenever it hits you?
Well, you could call this a goal. I only have a certain amount of time in the day to write. And especially now that I have Limelight, that takes up the bulk of the day. So I've got 4 children, 2 of them are disabled, remember?
It's a lot.
I miss them a lot. It is a lot, especially when I get migraines and there's just a lot going on. I still pick my kids up from school and I go about an hour early.
Mm-hmm.
So that hour in the car, I don't connect to Wi-Fi, I don't look at my phone, I don't do anything but write on my own stuff. So yeah, I give myself that hour a day. That is routine. That is, I guess, the same thing.
Yeah.
But that's the only time that I can really justify for myself as a mum as well, that I'm doing something still, okay, I'm picking up the kids. This is justified time. I find it really hard to say, okay, well, no, we're not going to do this weekend with the kids and then spend time on writing. I can't. I feel guilty doing that.
Are there parts of that routine that like you keep very consistent? Like, do you listen to music while you're writing, or do you write on a like, do you handwrite or typing on a laptop or using a tablet? Like, or is it just the 1 hour a day? However you're getting it out, you're getting it out.
Always written on the laptop. I used to handwrite poetry, but with novels, I've just straight up at the laptop. That's really all there is. All there is to it. Just sitting down and just starting and seeing what happens. There's some days you can't, feel like it. Some days it just doesn't sound right. And of course, you'll be in the shower and you'll think of some great plot twist or, The hardest thing that I find is finding character names because I've written so many books. Like, I'm running out of really good ones. So
I've written 0 books, and I also consider naming characters to be the hardest part.
You should restate that. You've completed 0 novels, and you're running out of character.
Wow, thank you. That's so nice of you to give me that validation.
Once a day, I need to give you a compliment.
Thanks.
That's it.
Fair enough.
Don't let your head get
That's
big.
the one for the day. I'll take it.
There you go.
have you started?
Yeah, I have an MFA in creative writing.
Right.
That is what I went to school for.
Okay.
I've started a bunch, and I've finished 0.
Yeah. Well, they always say the hardest part is starting, but yeah.
I think for us, though, too, I shouldn't speak for you, but like for me, I had several that were started. And I feel like sometimes, like, I go home from work and I have kids and I want to see my kids or do whatever. Like, I don't know, the last thing I want to do is write. Even though I want to get these books done.
Yeah.
And my stuff's all nonfiction. So it's all formalized. And my biggest fear is that I cited something wrong or, one of my citations is a blog article that by the time the book goes to print, the article will no longer be, like stupid stuff.
Well,
so,
yeah.
I don't know.
Just before I came here, I updated Write, Publish, Repeat to include all AI stuff because, you might have seen my post, everything's changed. Like half the stuff that I wrote, it's not, everything's still relevant, but it doesn't hit the same way as what is happening at the moment. It's moving so fast, and fiction novels don't do that. They just stay the same.
Yeah, that's the added pressure for nonfiction stuff, especially if you're writing something that is meant to help other people and it provides tools and processes.
Every time something stresses me out, I always automatically think to myself, it's okay, I've got writing. In the same way as like faith, it's okay, I've got this, it's okay, I've got this. And it makes me feel better knowing that I've got that to go to. It really, really does.
For me, it's pizza or tacos. Tomato. It's whatever gets you through.
With Vegemite. Have you tried Vegemite?
No. I'm a very weird eater. I have the palate of like a 10-year-old. It's mostly pizza, chicken nuggets, and tacos.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is true.
At least you know what you like.
Yeah, I don't know. I've expanded like I'll eat avocados now.
Proud of you.
That's an adult thing.
That's growth.
That is.
Yeah, I take it as growth. Thank you.
You should.
That's gross.
You should.
When it comes to writing your books, again, and we'll get to Limelight for sure because I'm very interested in that. But your covers are always very unique. Do you design your covers, or do you have a designer you work with?
I've learnt a lot about covers. With my first couple of books, which I still have those old copies that I have, I really wanted to see this cover. Like, I had this idea in my mind about what I wanted the cover to be. And of course I loved it, and I look back on it now and I think, well, that's awful, that's not going to sell. then when I got a book deal with Dimmicks in Australia, I was talking to one of the women in store, and she was looking at my book and she said, "This is what we need to see." And she was pointing to all these other books saying, "These are incredible stories, but nobody picks them up because of the covers." So it was a big insight for me to be able to see what the bookstores were frustrated with and expecting. So I just try and make them timeless. So I just keep in mind, am I going to love this later?
Yeah.
Does it speak to all audiences, both genders, everyone in between? It's really hard to capture that, but I just keep an eye on what's trending. And the amazing thing about Lulu is that you can change the cover at any point, which I have done with a lot of mine over time. Someone has said to me, "I've noticed you've changed the covers," and I was like, "Yeah," and just sort of waited to see what she said. And she said, "I think they're great," because I thought she would have said, "Oh, what did you do with that?"
Yeah.
And it's just the way that I like to do it. I don't want to. Yeah, I think it's great that you can update stuff.
Is there any like rhyme or reason to when you decide to update the covers, or is it just
That's a good question.
you saw something that you were like, "Oh, I'd like to update that," or something?
Usually it's because someone has said something, and then, you shouldn't go by what other people say or think, but I do try and listen to what people, like feedback. I take it as feedback. So initially, like An Ounce of Expectation, the 2 romance novels, that a lot of people asked what it was about, and what I was telling them what it was about was not what they expected at all, because the cover was quite raunchy, but that's not the message that I wanted to get across.
Gotcha.
So there's romance novels, but it wasn't like a typical romance novel, because, like you already know, my books are about things that have happened to me with plot twists at the end, and I still wanted there to be a message in it. I didn't just want it to be known for that, so I did change them.
Just to clarify for everybody listening, Dimmicks is a bookstore chain in Australia?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the biggest that we have. And I wrote about it in the Write, Publish, Repeat, and one of my authors, Daniel Rosemond, he got Write, Publish, Repeat, and he read through it and he took all my advice and he walked straight into a Barnes & Noble and did everything I told him to do in the book, and he got his book deal and he did his signing and he got a videographer and did the whole thing, and I'm just so proud of him. And it was absolutely incredible to see someone follow those instructions and see it through and have faith that it was going to work.
Yeah.
And it was just, it was full circle and just like heartwarming.
This is a great time to then transition. Tell us a little bit about Limelight Publishing, how that came about, why you decided to start that.
Yeah, it came about because so many people asked me how I manage writing books and
Everything else.
kids and all that. And I would always say, I'm using Lulu and it's just so, all the information's there, just all you have to do is read. But it's amazing how many people don't want to
Preach.
educate themselves. It's nice that I've realised mostly that the authors that I have, they want someone to walk them through it. They want someone to be there to say, this is what's going to work. Am I doing okay? Like a nurturing sort of figure. So I went to a seminar that Ingram was having in Australia at the State Library, and I got talking to a few people, and a couple of the people who were on the panel at the end of the seminar were talking about their publishing companies and how they got started. And I turned around and said to the person I was with, I said, I can do that. And I went straight home that evening and registered it, and I'm like, I can do that. I didn't realise that I could do it until I saw other people talking about their challenges and everything, and their challenges were things that I'd already done.
Yeah.
I'd already faced, I'd already been through.
Many times over.
Yeah, like they were talking about covers and saying this cover is really great, and I'm looking at it going, that's not going to sell. You told that author to do that? you know, maybe you should have advised this way. And like, for example, when I do covers for an author, I don't just give a cover, I give at least 10, 20,
Really?
30
Wow.
different designs based on what they've asked, not only because I love doing it, but like you've got to broaden what they don't know what they don't know.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely can see authors sometimes that like they can't admit to themselves that the cover that they had in their head is not actually right for the book, and they're so committed to like.
But there's that
seeing
fine
that,
line between nurturing what they want to see on the cover. So I've got a book published called Water Radiant, and the cover is just a bare chicken. And she asked me to do something with the chicken. It was actually quite a challenge. It was just chicken on a table.
You should put tattoos on it.
Well, I did everything but that. And after about
Next time.
50 covers, and I was super creative. It was really hard. And this was before all of the AI stuff, all of the, you know, it was really, really manual, really, really hands-on. And in the end, she came back and said, no, I think I just want the chicken.
Ashley did one with a rooster on it
challenge.
recently.
But it's you want them, like, I know this looks so good, but, you know, you've got to respect what they want.
Sure.
And I was there with those first covers that I thought were really, really great. But, yeah.
Do you have? I do want to. I don't want to go too far away from Limelight, but I do want to ask on the covers. Do you have a favorite of your books? Which I love the cover specifically, and I know that's like asking if you have a favorite child.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
is there one cover that you're like really? I love.
I
how
think
that
they're
one
getting
turned out.
better. I still think I'm learning. Like I never ever stop learning. I still don't think I've ever done a cover that's like the best. I do. Hear No Evil.
Mm-hmm.
I think is a pretty good one. But no, I don't have a particular favourite one. I have a favourite story, but I don't have a favourite cover.
Yeah.
That's fair.
When you were, so you went home that day and you were like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to set up a publishing company.
Yes.
And in those initial days, weeks, what was the most challenging part about setting that business up?
There were a few major challenges and a few mistakes, honestly.
Well, partially because in Australia, everything's trying to kill you, right?
Everything.
Including
This size
your
spider is small. And
alligators,
It's bad.
crocodiles,
everything.
the local governments.
Yeah, everything.
You're just describing Florida.
Shh. We have that in common. I grew up in Florida. Everything tries to kill you there too. What were some of the challenges of setting up your publishing?
Yeah,
because I'm sure there's a lot of people listening. By the way, we talk to them all the time too. That saying like they're probably like, I would love to do that. You know, how would I get started?
Yeah. The biggest mistake that I've made, I'll just start with that, is that I didn't research my name enough. I wanted to do something green, and everything green I could think of was already taken as a registered business name. So I ended up on Limelight. I couldn't believe that it was available. Like, it's pretty cool. So I went with that straight away. And I would advise anyone who's starting a business to research the name that you want, because without a doubt, I get daily emails about this other Limelight company that existed that went out of business, and they're either looking for a title or they're looking for money owed, and it's not me, and I have to work through those emails daily. So that's something that I really wish that I'd taken more time to figure out, and I've built the brand so much that I don't want to go back.
Yeah, it'd be
So
detrimental.
no, absolutely. So that's one big thing. The second one for me was that it's Australian. So I had, especially in the beginning, building rapport with new authors. So you go to my website and there's not really much to show in the beginning. So they were very nervous about that.
So no social proof, testimonial stuff. It's hard to win new clients when you don't have any.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It was really, really hard. So you just have to keep at it. Just have to keep going, and just keep working to build it up. But in the same vein, like it's like new authors when they sign up, they expect bestseller results immediately, and you've got to explain that there's a lot of hard work, and if people want a reason to buy a book and, to go back and build who you are on top, of the book. So, but I love talking to the authors and getting to know them and mentoring them and walking them through it, and it just took a lot of time.
Is tempering their expectations kind of part of the overall job that you have to do with them? Is kind of getting them to understand, like, you're not gonna be on the New York Times bestseller list tomorrow. Like, we have some work to do.
I've learned over time to make that really clear up front, really, really clear, because sometimes you forget that their expectations might be something you've never even thought about. Because people still think, not everybody, sorry, a lot of people still think that there's a contract and that you're going to take, so I don't take a cut of royalties. And I think people just assume because they're paying for a service that they're going to get a lot back. So I can't just leave them hanging. So I've got to work through strategies for social media and the way things are, and it's challenging.
So Limelight does offer marketing as well as just straight up publishing services, editing, cover design, things like that. But you also offer launch and post launch marketing.
Yes, help? Initially I included social media stuff, but it actually became too challenging, and I've removed it because I would start with the influencers that I already had on board, but each author was starting to request specific influencers that would maybe not want to read the book. So, I've got all this list of them that the influencers would say, oh, I don't really want to read that. Like, it's their choice. So I couldn't guarantee that to my customers, so I took it off and still offer it for the ones that, I know probably like it just for the sake of it, but it's not something I can guarantee, so I can't. I'm not going to promise that. But, the book signing and marketing materials is always really, really good, and they love that, and it's a really great way to encourage them to get out and,
So we know the marketing is always a huge pain point for indie authors. Are there other pain points that you see consistently with the clients that you take on that you just know, like, as you take them on, like, oh yeah, it's going to be these three things, culminating in marketing? Or is it kind of varied depending on who they are?
It's too varied. Everyone's all over the place, especially because of online, because of social media, and because of AI. And I think one of the hardest things that I'm coming into, which is what I'm really excited about being at this expo for, is the AI stuff. So my editor has recently come and said, not sure if he's changed the tone halfway through the book. I'm not sure if he's using AI, but it's completely changed. So I think I reached out to you and asked you at some point the framework around what do I do here? Like, how do I monitor this? I don't know what to do. So I'm really interested in hearing what people have to say over the next couple of days. But I can only take their word for it. Like, how do we know that they're not? And I'm really scared. And so honestly, I feel a little disheartened with my own writing. My son said the same thing at school. He said, all my friends are using AI and they're not allowed to, but I know that they do. And it just makes him feel like he doesn't want to do the work. And it's really, really scary. So
I think for us and for me in general, like what we're seeing at a much larger scale is the same thing, first of all. So validation, like, people are still feeling the way you are, and trying, especially in the position you're in where you're trying to understand, like, I've got a client who maybe this client says they wrote every bit of this, but the editor is recognizing there are pattern shifts here now that are lining up a little bit more with ChatGPT versus what maybe the first half of the book sounded like, or there's a ton of M dashes everywhere, which is very characteristic of ChatGPT, or things like that. And I think that as a whole in the industry, right now, I think the stance is that it's okay to use AI for aspects of your writing. Like, I use it for outlining religiously because I can't write an outline to save my life, but I also can't I can't start a project without an outline. I'm just outline driven, or I'll be all over the place. I tell people all the time, I use it for outlining all the time.
Yeah.
It's great for that. If I get stuck on something, I will take what I wrote, I will dump it into Matt GPT, which is my custom GPT that Paul built for me, so shout out to Paul. And it'll spit back out like, an altered version of that where it'll help me get unstuck. And I might use that in its entirety, or I might not. But if I'm using anything in what I'm writing that's from AI and I did not alter it, I'll just say in the book, like, this book is a culmination of my writing and some AI. And I think as long as you're upfront about it, I don't think most people have a real issue with it, especially if your book is adding value, or, whether that value is in a how-to, an instructional, conceptual type of work, or entertainment, pure fiction. Like, honestly, if I read a book, I just finished a book, Horror Movie by Paul Tremblay. It was a great book. I wouldn't care if half that book was written by AI. I enjoyed the book. I don't care.
See, I think with fiction is where I feel like it's not a problem, but I feel frustrated with it because I've spent so many years learning how to do it, learning how to write fiction, and finding my voice and my rhythm, and then I feel like somebody can just wake up and say, I've always wanted to write a book, and just out it comes, and then it's popular, and I don't know, but they have to live with themselves knowing that they didn't write it.
It's a different kind of person, and it's a different kind of book, because anybody that's written or read any content that's come out of AI that wasn't rewritten or reconceptualized, you can spot it immediately. Like,
but
you'll know.
It's only going to improve, though. That's going to disappear.
To a degree.
And also, you can spot it right away. And that's one of the things, because I've had that too, where I've had friends tell me, like, oh yeah, like, it's going to be really cool if you can think of a book idea and you can just ask ChatGPT to write it for you. And they'll, like, say that to my face. And it doesn't even occur to them why I, as somebody who has spent 20 years professionally and personally honing my craft of writing, would be upset by that. And, like, it would, like, because to them it's just like, this is a cool new tool to play with.
Because
and
that's
like
how it's marketed, that it's there to help us with the things that we want to do but might find challenging.
Right.
Let me reframe that for you then. So, yes, I can spot writing that was done with ChatGPT or Claude or Perplexity, and I think a lot of people can, probably more than you think. It's becoming very discernible, like which is what. But let me reframe this. People will absolutely be able to tell when it's something you wrote versus something ChatGPT wrote.
Yeah, that's true.
For somebody who's been writing as long as you have, for somebody who's about to complete something soon, I'm sure of it.
Any day now.
It is a lot more obvious when it was written in totality by a human, especially a human that has some talent, skill, or some built-up experience. So one way or the other, I think it is pretty discernible to either see that it was written by AI or partially written by AI versus, this was clearly written by a human that has some skill in writing. Or if somebody is already a fan of yours and has, maybe they've read your last 5 books, they're going to know immediately if you wrote that next one or not. So however you choose to look at it, and again, I completely understand where you're coming from. I think that's where most people are at right now with it. I think my point in all of that was, from the business side of it, you as the person who owns and runs Limelight Publishing, if you have an author who is clearly using an AI tool to help with their writing, or write all of it, at the end of the day, like you said, they chose to do that. Whatever that outcome is, that was their choice. And as long as they're, I think this is where the industry has to step in, as long as they're being honest about the fact that I used AI to write this, or I used AI to help me write this book. It is what it is, and if people choose to accept that and enjoy it, great. And if not, okay.
So I have a form that I send that gets filled in, all their details and what they want to see on the cover, and all the way down to what paper and print type they want and everything. So we get all that sorted very early on. And I have included a little section that says if they've used it in a percentage, and just left a little space. And a couple of people have said they've just used it to reference. So people have been disclosing whether they have been using it or not. And I guess the beauty of already having written is that people will know how you write and will appreciate that. I just have to figure out more ways to embrace it within Limelight. It's all, that part of it's all feels really new to me.
I think you touched on this earlier. It's embrace is a strong word. You don't have to embrace it. I think because you're serving customers, right? You have these clients that you're working with. If they choose to embrace it, I think it's just you finding a way to help them take it to market in a way that reflects not only them as an author creator, but
true.
You as a brand.
Because my heart's in it so much that I do get to that point where sometimes I need to take a step back and say, because the Lulu platform that's what's so good about it. You can go in and once it's been handed over, they can change whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, part of the reason why I don't take royalties is so that I can hand everything over to the customer.
That's right.
And then they can go from there armed with all the information that they need. If they can be successful if they want to be, no matter how
That's
much they put into it.
You've now given them the tools. You know what I mean? It's a direct handoff. That's the beauty of it.
But then when I see someone create a cover that they want, and it's just on AI and it's obvious, it's very hard for me to, like I said, my heart's just in it, and I just want to grab them and shake them and want them to be. But some people aren't as creative, and they want to get their story out, and that's the whole point of it. And
your job is to help them to deliver their message and be successful in whatever way success translates for them.
But I get really close to most of my clients. I have really, really good relationships with a lot of them. Some of them turned into friends, and because they're handing over something so personal, even if it is non-fiction, 9 times out of 10 they tell me a lot about their own lives. And I guess back in the day, that's how maybe it worked with publishers, when you walked in with your book and you saw them face to face and you talked about the book and everything. It feels like that for me, but it's just online. So, and I also put so much effort in as well because I'm Australian, and so one of the first questions I always get is this in the US, is this worldwide? And I'm not sure. And if you read some of my reviews, some of them will say, especially being Australian, and I wasn't sure, but it ended up being fine and fantastic. And there's always that's a bit of a challenge, but always one I've overcome.
So do you work with clients all over the place, not just specifically in Australia?
Yeah, everywhere. Yeah.
And is it a range of, I know you work with a range of different genres. You've published, or you've helped people publish fiction, nonfiction, children's books, adult, everything. Are you generally working with people that are first-time authors, or people that have been writing for a while, or kind of all over the place?
I prioritize people with challenges, so disabilities, and I always use a couple as examples. I had a client who was blind, and so that was a very big challenge, but it was his dream to get it done. He had a carer, so we would go back and forth and she would read it to him. That took a really long time, but it was absolutely incredible to have done. A couple of my authors are illiterate, and they've got friends helping them, and I really try and go that extra mile, and it's what I've won awards for back home. And I don't turn many people away, but there are some books that I have said no to, mostly because they don't meet, the guidelines, and that it wouldn't get published anyway. I think Amazon would reject it. Other than that, I publish all types.
How do your clients find you?
That's what I was about to say. How do you promote Limelight? How are you acquiring new authors?
I could not believe this, and I was dying to tell you this, that in the past 6 months, almost every single client that I've had has told me that they found me by asking ChatGPT what published. I kid you not.
Really?
I will send you the emails. It is wow, it just blew my mind. I couldn't believe it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, I have a sticker on my car. You know, I'm doing all those old school things, and I've got business cards and things like that. But people are finding me through, yeah.
So mostly organic
Online.
search, it sounds like. So you're not really doing a lot or any paid, like digital marketing
I
stuff?
never have. No,
Okay.
I never have.
Yeah, just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
Do you so the ones that are finding you through ChatGPT or generative search, are you asking them like what their string of words were that they typed in? Like,
I did ask one,
Mhm.
and she said that she asked what was most trusted and genuine.
Mhm.
So that's all she told me about that. So I thought that was really
yeah,
a really good compliment.
Yeah, that's great.
But that is a good question to ask going forward with the new ones that would be interesting to know.
how many authors or projects do you have going at a given time on average?
At the moment, there's about anywhere from about 20 to 40.
Wow.
When do you sleep?
Wow.
Yeah, it's manageable. It is, because they don't just come, like, you'll get the authors that want everything done right now.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a couple of people who have signed up a year ago and they're still not sure, what's happening with it. They've got their covers and they're still undecided. So I've got, and then I've got clients who have like 10 books with me, and they'll just pay for all the 10 books ready to go, and then have that much trust that
So authors can come to you without a finished draft. Like, do you where in their writing process
What's your
do
criteria
they
for submission?
contract with you?
I encourage having had it edited, because I say that because the editing process can be brutal.
Yes.
And there's a really, really fine line, as you know, between advising somebody about something and something just being completely wrong.
Yeah.
So, I do encourage that, but then we have editors as well. So.
Okay, so you do provide editing. Do you provide a full suite of it, like copy editing and developmental editing, or you try to just really focus on copy editing and hope that they've come to you with something that's developmentally and structurally sound?
Well, part of what I'm really proud of with Limelight is that the people that I have on board, so my small team, work independently.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got 2 editors, 2 illustrators, a social media marketer, and then IT. And the 2 editors, they charge their own rate and they work independently, and it goes by the manuscript. Because I've sat with one of the editors before and I can see where she's coming from. Sometimes you can turn a book down because of the challenges that the manuscript can have, but generally no, we don't turn much away. I don't like disappointing customers, and I want to be transparent. I want to be honest. I don't ever want to say, this is the most incredible book. It's gonna sell. I won't do that. But at the same time, everybody's stories are amazing. Everybody's books are incredible. So. But and editing can only improve their work.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
It's vital to have it done. It's just always advise it.
I should have asked this question maybe 45 minutes ago, but how long have you had Limelight act? Like, when did you launch Limelight?
2017.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought you had it last time we were in New York. 2018.
I might have just been starting it then. It wasn't really anything.
Definitely talked about it. Are you glad that you did Limelight? Do you ever think like, man, I wish I was still just focusing on my stuff only?
I am glad. When I get the clients who are not very nice, and I wish they'd seen that before they signed on, because then I would have said you're probably not the right fit and given them some other direction. But But knowing that if there is a client that is a real challenge, sometimes I get an apology. Sometimes I've had before. I'm really sorry things started out that way, and I'm really glad things have. So I try and persist there. But also they're not with me forever as well. So I try and just give that positive experience in hopes that they'll look back on it and think, well, that was actually really good and I should have not acted that way. But it's emotional though, like you're handing over work, and I try and put myself in that position, and it's hard not to be emotional, and sometimes maybe it might come across like that in an email. Maybe I'm reading it wrong,
Emails are hard to understand context anyway.
So you've just got to be open and just transparent with information, because the more information they have, the more confident they're going to be to make decisions when they're not sure about anything. Like Lulu University is right there and the knowledge base is right there. Everything is right there. And I actually, at the end of the publishing experience and they get their final book and everything, I have this folder that they get with a printed out and a little koala and everything that they get, and this
no
pack that gets sent to them.
A little packet of Vegemite.
We used to be able to send it, but we can't anymore. It's just really nice to be able to hand them that pack and end it off with a positive note.
It sounds like very rewarding, as much as it is probably an insanely time-consuming
because
career to have.
I'll look at this book, I'll get this book, and I'll be good to go, and then I'll think to myself, I can't be bothered doing this. I can't be bothered working today. I'm so tired. The moment I open the laptop and start typing, something just takes over. I love it. I love what I do. I love, my husband just looks at me and I'm like, you could do this. You love it. And he's like, I can't work with Word. I can't. It is my worst nightmare. For me, just working on a Word document in itself is I just love it. I don't know what it is. I don't know. It's so satisfying. And I really love when an author says, be creative. Show me what you got, basically, because it's not just a title and a paragraph. There's so much more that you can do. So I love it when I'm able to do a bit more.
There you
go. You just mentioned something about a title. How in depth do you actually go with your authors? Are you with them sometimes at the beginning of okay, you've got a manuscript, but no title. You work through titles with them, and that's
some people don't have a title and they'll ask for suggestions. That happens more often than not, which is unusual for me because I've always got a title in mind. It's almost right there with the ending for me. But to me that just says that they recognise the importance of a title, so I appreciate the fact that they're asking for advice, and that's how I take everything. I've had manuscripts come to my PO box half written and wanting help, and I'll get on Zoom calls. I don't do a lot of Zoom calls, but only if I really, really, really feel like they're stuck or they really need help or they really don't understand something's not going right, and we'll share the screen and work through it. But any which way that I can, the guidelines that I have with what we do are just guidelines. I'll always try and do more where I can, and I'm really excited because Thomas Wyatt is a long-term client of mine, and he has, I think it's up to 10 books or something. Wow. They're all non-fiction, and they're all about his family history, and one of his books has actually been made, The Hook it's called, has been made into a board game. Ooh. And it's in the catalogue that I have. I'm meeting him for the first time when I go to New York. After cool. This, I'm meeting him for lunch, and he actually signed another book just before I came here. So I said, look, I'm going to work on it because I'm working all the way through this. I will send it to you just before I meet you so you've got it and we can sit down together and make notes. And I'm so thrilled to be able to actually meet him in person. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
What percentage of your clients, if you had to estimate, are within Australia and then outside of Australia?
Mostly US. I'd say probably maybe 30% Australian. The rest would be US,
Wow.
England, and African countries,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly US.
Do you, on a side note, speaking of getting to meet your authors, things like that, do you have any plans of BookCon 2026? They're bringing it back.
No, I didn't know. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
No.
Yeah. It's going to be in April.
Not BEA, but BookCon.
Are you kidding me?
No, 2026.
Oh my god, I was so upset when they stopped.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay.
I'm definitely there. That's amazing.
We'll
when
have
did they
to
announce
team
that?
up.
Recently?
About 2 months
Yeah.
ago.
Really?
Roughly. But it was kind of quiet
It was-
and weird how they announced it.
I stopped checking the website. Like,
It was only social media.
Yeah.
It's only because of the insane number of book related or publishing industry emails that I'm
Yeah,
signed up for
I
because
bet.
I never unsubscribe from anything.
Yeah.
That's
I bet.
the only way that I found out about it.
It's such an amazing experience.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
BookCon was even cooler because it was more geared towards fans. BEA was the industry part, which was cool in its own way to a degree, but there's also just a lot of industry bullshit, stuff that I don't know could be gross. Oh, we have to edit that out.
They had a lot of famous people come in as well, which was really exciting for the fans.
Yeah, at the end for the fan stuff, yeah. And so I think having BookCon back will be really cool. I think they had no choice too with the popularity of Book Talk and all the other stuff that's
Yes.
going on in books.
Definitely. It'll
I
be
mean-
interesting to see how they incorporate all of these
yeah.
things into what they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see how it goes.
So you made mention of this catalog, and
Yeah.
we got to see it before we started filming. This is really cool. Like we've seen book catalogs for traditional publishers and other hybrid publishers too, and they're just kind of like whatever. You know what I mean? They're like little 10, 12 page saddle stitch stapled cheap newsprint.
Oh.
This thing is pretty
Yeah.
thick and really well laid out. What was the reasoning for doing this?
I started it because I kept getting emails asking, "Do you have a catalog?"
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "No, I don't."
From authors or like retailers?
Both.
Okay.
And I would say, well, here's the website,
Right.
but they actually wanted a physical catalog. I remember somebody said they wanted it for somebody else to look through, and I just sort of imagined maybe someone who was old school didn't really want to look through the website. Maybe he wanted to actually hold it in their hands and have a look. So when I knew I was coming here, I thought, I've got to put everything together because I'm so proud of it.
Mm.
So it starts with how we came to be,
Mm-hmm.
the partnership that we have,
Mm-hmm.
and how amazing you guys are, like I always say. And then most of the books, obviously there's ones that are anonymous, even though I do mention them and thank them. And then a whole bunch of interviews with Thomas, who I'm meeting. There's an interview with him, with Daniel, who got the book deal at Barnes & Noble, and he actually contributed a piece. His story is absolutely incredible, that he won a lawsuit, and it was just, his story is amazing and the book is incredible. So yeah, I just wanted to give my authors as well a chance to tell a little bit more about their books, and hopes that it not only showcases what we do, but encourages other authors to see what can.
It's a great acquisition tool or lead magnet, I think.
Yeah.
The way that it's laid out and structured.
Yeah, and a great way to, I don't want to say humanize the authors because they're doing that,
Yeah.
but to remind people that there's a person behind
Yeah.
these books.
And to see what happens afterwards, because in a way it does hurt the heart a little bit when you publish a book and then that's it,
Mm-hmm.
and you sort of sit back. It's like having a baby, like everyone's doting over you, and then you've had the baby, and then everyone's just off doing their own thing, and no one's giving up their seat for you, and are you okay, everything's all right, don't lift that. Sort of that feeling, I think. And so many of my authors have used their books in different ways for different reasons, and those stories are fascinating, and that's what I encourage them to talk about online.
Mm-hmm.
Like they want to talk about it.
Yeah.
So you know, the book is there, but you're a human, you're a person, and people will buy your book if they know about you.
Yep.
And it is hard because I really struggled with social media because I constantly kept thinking, and I've probably even said it in one of my posts, like, nobody wants to know what I'm doing day in, day out.
Well, that's what
Like,
you
I'm
think.
just a normal person doing normal things. Like,
That guy you ran
Yeah, I was
into.
gonna say, and then you
That
get
guy you ran into in the grocery store. I'd
fan
like
the
to know what you're
groceries,
doing
right?
today. I mean,
but yeah, people do really want to know.
mhm.
Yeah.
Every author
Strange
struggles
to
with
me.
exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
Every human does. I
Yeah.
mean, the last thing I want to do is post on social media. I hate it.
Yeah.
But
Because I feel like if
here we are.
I would have written about my life in a book, but instead I write fiction because I want the world to seem different.
Hmm.
Because this one's just
Yeah.
working and living and
Yeah.
you know, traveling. But you do take for granted sometimes and forget that there are those incredible moments, and the journey that the book takes can change people's lives. I've even had a proposal in a book, and she said yes. So the last page, that was actually, that was amazing. So yeah, it's opening everything up, and that's what I want Limelight to be. I want it to be a place that people can go. It's not just about publishing. Like, there are so many reasons why you can publish a book, and I say that in Write, Publish, Repeat. There's so many reasons. Like, if you're having an argument with someone and you just want to tell your side of it, write a book about it. Like,
Sure.
create those characters and give you the ending that you want. Like, there
Yeah.
are so many reasons to write. If you're a professional in something, you know, and you know you love this craft, share it.
Yeah.
You know, I think people don't have enough confidence, and I want to give them that. I want to be able to say, like, with this Lulu platform and with my help, you're good to go. Like, you can do it.
Yeah. That's great. We'll go ahead and wrap it up a little bit here, but still a lot to process.
Yeah.
What I would ask, what we would love to hear from you is, you know, kind of the way you're looking at things from a forward perspective. Like, what do you think the future of publishing looks like or will look like? Like, you know, not just for you, but in general.
I'm in a space where I feel really scared and disheartened, like, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things, like I probably should have said at the beginning, I'm the type of person who, at the hotel I'm staying at, the person at the front desk said, "Oh, I love your perfume, it smells really nice." Normally, people would not disclose what it is,
Mm-hmm.
but immediately I just tell them, you know, it's eternity, it's, you know, it's this. People are really closed off about information that is not, like, there's no reason to hide it, you know.
No one needs to gatekeep everything.
Yeah. So transparency with publishing is, like, the key thing with me, and being sensitive and encouraging, but just being realistic and honest about stuff as well. I almost wish that we were back in the day. Like, I love the idea of an author coming in with a manuscript.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the idea of typing it all out, but maybe having someone to do it. But that author to publisher relationship, I mean, talking through it makes me realise that that's probably, like, the fundamental love that I have for the company. I love the work, I love the physical work, but I love the relationships probably more than anything, because I know how it feels to publish a book. I know what that feeling is like.
Yeah.
And if I could give it or bottle it, give it to everybody, I would. It's an amazing feeling. I can't envision what things are going to be like in the future, mostly because of how quickly things are changing. I just really, really hope that people make books because they really love the subject or the story that they're trying to talk about, not just for the sake of it. That's my biggest fear, because it's not about earning money. To me, it never has been. Otherwise, I would charge double what I charge, like everybody else does. And I've done books for free, and I've really gone, like, I've been out of pocket quite a lot for some people, but that matters not to me. It's about getting them to that, that whatever they envision. However I can, I will do it. I just hope more people do the same for more. So I just don't understand why people don't use Lulu. I don't understand it. It's right there. And like, I encourage all of my authors that they don't have to go through me. Like, I'm helping you to do it and I'm walking with you. But with your next book, go have a look. You are capable, and some people just really like to have that person with
That's
them.
right. Yeah.
Some people realise that they can, like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
And so I work within their accounts, but I send out proofs like from a Limelight one. And sometimes during the process they'll realise as well. So it's introducing them to the platform, introducing them to things that they can do that they didn't realise that they could. Or just walking with them.
I think part of, looking forward, future, I think part of what you're saying will materialize more often, where people will understand as the technology gets better, as the tools get better, as AI makes certain things easier for people to do, whether that's administrative tasks or otherwise. Like, I think people will more and more find that they can do it on their own, with whatever guided help they get from the tools. But I think right now we're still in an era, luckily for you and many others, where people just want somebody to help them through it. It's, it does seem daunting for a lot of people, regardless of what the content is. And no matter what, my team creates in the way of marketing or education, it doesn't matter. Like you said, there's just going to be people where that doesn't make any sense to them. But a human can sit down with them and go right through the exact same thing, and it clicks, and they go, okay, it's a comfort level thing.
How do you think that it's going to change? Or
I think it'll change in that way to a degree. I think, again, with tools and technology, and we're already seeing it. There's a lot more content being put out in the world. It's not always good content, but I think you have two buckets of people that are going to create books. They're either creating it because they see a fast buck in it, and those are the ones that are using AI for everything, and they're just relying solely on tools, no creative talent or abilities, or even a clear sort of like, here's a gap in the market that I want to fill with this content. It's just like, oh, I have all these tools, now I can just spin off books every day and make money off of it. And then you're gonna have this bucket of people like you and a lot of the others where it's, I have something to say, or I have an expertise that I want to share, or I want to create this book, like a catalog or something like that, to further my business or my brand, and I'm going to put some care into it. And so you have those two buckets of people. In the middle, you have this now sort of burgeoning technology that's coming to play with print on demand, AI, and all these other tool sets, whether that's Lulu or somebody else. And you're going to have this culmination of people meeting in the middle. But ultimately, I think, yes, publishing will change in the future, but a lot of it will stay the same. And I think the stuff that's going to stay the same is the stuff we want to stay the same.
It's just keeping up with what changes.
It's just going to make our jobs easier. Your job, my job,
but then
our
there's
job.
like the Amazon cliff, and what gets
that'll never
released
change
by the author gets shown because it's being released so often, which I like, that's not fair, but
I'm hopeful that as long as there are still people like you in the industry that are passionate about it and are passionate about being authentic and keeping that level of humanity in it, then we'll always have that. Like, we'll never go too far off the deep end into exclusively generated content or just like a bunch of trash, like burying everything good under it, because I think the humanity and the passion will still rise to the
people
top.
Still buy paintings, right? And if someone was to say, oh, if AI did it, would they still buy it? Like, people still love the painting, they still love it's a lot to think about, a lot to take in, but I just got to see where it goes and adjust with it, and there'll always be a space, I hope, for human to human.
Undoubtedly.
I think so.
Yeah, I mean,
it's the best kind of publishing.
You brought up a really good sort of parallel art. I mean, people still go to museums, they still look at things that were painted 100, 200, 3 years ago. There's always
a human need for it.
That's right.
There.
The more AI and technology that comes out, though, the more loneliness there is in the world. There's that need to connect with people on a human level. I think nothing really does that as well as a book, So
I agree.
I think the most important question is, what do your bracelets say today?
Oh. One of them says read in peace.
Okay.
One of them says professional yapper. And the last one says bready for it.
What does that mean? Never mind. I don't want to know.
It's from.
Usually Taylor Swift.
It is. It's a Taylor Swift quote.
Okay.
It's a sourdough bread pun. She has a song called "Ready for It," so she named one of her bready for it.
I'm sorry.
Aren't you glad you spent time with me?
On that note,
There's a lot of Swift.
my time with you is coming to an end right now, thankfully.
Fair.
Lynette, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
That was a lot of fun.
That was
It's very interesting to
incredible.
hear about your journey.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say to anybody before we sign off here? Just say hi to those 4 amazing kids or anybody else.
Yes. Tyler, Tyson, Jackson, and baby Grace. I'll miss them a lot. But mostly just want to thank the authors because, like, the effort that I put in, they put in just as much,
Sure,
if
yeah.
not more. Every single one of them, it's their heart on the line, and they trust me with it.
Yeah.
They've chosen me after having talked to me. They've made that decision to go forward and then come back. Like, I don't take that for granted at all. So we wouldn't be, like the people that win awards. I wouldn't be here without my fans. Like, it's the same thing. I would not be here if people didn't trust me, and I wouldn't be Limelight if it weren't for you guys. I just wouldn't be, because I can't imagine doing it any other way. And if I have any issues, like, you guys are just there. I know it's I keep praising and I keep, saying it over and over, but yeah, it's just incredible to have you guys behind me. And you've always supported me, not only as an author, but when I moved in to this space as a publisher. And you've always just been so encouraging of anything that I wanted to do or try, any mistakes that I've made, anything I wanted to know or learn or do. Like, again, it's just transparency, and openness and encouragement.
Good.
Yeah, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, like and subscribe.
Please do.
Give us a review.
If you want to learn more about Lynette or Limelight Publishing, check out the show notes. I'll make sure we've got all the stuff linked in the show notes. And you can always reach out to us or her to learn more.
That's right.
Well, I am on your website.
Yes, you are.
Yes.
Absolutely. And if you don't have any questions, you can always come back next week and listen to whatever it is we're going to talk about then.
It won't be Taylor Swift bread references, I can promise you that.
That's what you think.
Goodbye, everybody.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
To learn more about this episode, check out the show notes on publishprosperpodcast.com. Publish and Prosper is brought to you by Lulu.com. To hear more episodes like this one, please like and subscribe wherever you listen. Thanks for tuning in.